My name is Tiffany Ike. I go to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, but I am born and bred in Houston, Texas. Whoop whoop, go Texas. Anyway, I actually graduated from the FBISD school district, so was right where you guys were at a time in my life. Not really that far, actually kind of last year. Anyway, I thought I'd give you guys a few little tips and advice and information for the future. So, let's start and begin. I first started poetry when I was in 8th grade. Because of a guy named Daniel Beatty, he wrote a poem called Knock Knock. Advice number 1, watch that poem. Daniel Beatty, Knock Knock. Greatest poem I have ever heard. I mean, I might be biased, but still. But anyway, I was on my computer in my house and turned to YouTube, found the video, and just watched. After I watched it, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to watch others. So I spent the entire day, just literally the entire day, just watching poetry. Second reason why I started poetry is because when I told my brother about it, he said I couldn't do it. So I wrote a poem to spite him. And then after that, I entered my first poetry slam, and oddly won. And after that I realized, I kind of like this. This is cool. Let's continue. Fast forward some odd years from now, and I'm sitting in University of Wisconsin-Madison. Why Madison? I know. I have no idea. Random. But not as random. I got a scholarship to attend this school through a program called First Wave, which is a hip-hop initiative that believes in the fundamental purpose of art, academics, and activism. Basically, I got a poetry scholarship. Did you know that existed? I didn't really either, but it was a thing. And if it wasn't for poetry, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have a free education. I know it would be cliche to say that poetry changed my life. It didn't. But it did change the course of it. If it wasn't for poetry, I wouldn't have ended up in half of the places that I have been and been a part of, and things that I just didn't realize exist because of poetry. So, I thought I'd give you guys some advice, some tips, some funny stories and anecdotes to express what poetry means to me and how much it can actually mean to you. Look at my list over here. First things first. Grab it again. So, I've always been a storyteller. I love to write, love to read, love to talk. Teachers can attest to that. But I finally, through poetry, realized how to make my words, my thoughts, my talking mean something, whether to me or to other people. So that was good. And I entered my first poetry slam when I was in the 8th grade. I didn't know where that was going to lead, but eventually, somewhere along the line, I wanted to quit. I enjoyed poetry so much that eventually I started hating it because it was literally always in my head. Things were always wanting to be written. I was like, all right, I'm done here. Let's quit. So my last poetry slam ever that I thought was going to be my last poetry slam ever, I ended up making it onto the Metaphor Houston Slam poetry team. And I was thinking, whoa, I made it onto a team, but I didn't know I have any idea what that entailed. It entailed lots and lots of practicing and lots of poems. So when I thought I was going to give up, instead I thrusted myself into so many more poems. But it was the greatest thing I've ever decided to do in my life. We spent a summer just traveling around Texas, doing poems and doing events and just being a part of things that I didn't think that were possible and I could be a part of. I ended up being a part of a TEDx, and we were in the slams across Texas that we were the slam champs of Texas, and it was like these crazy things that were happening, and on top of that, we went to this program, this international poetry slam called BNV, Brave New Voices, and probably the crazy experiences I have ever had. So, advice number 2, those crazy experiences that you've never had, you can have them. Just open your horizons, open your mind to things that you may never experience. So somehow I ended up in this random university that is not so random because it's so relevant to my life. All because of writing words on a paper. First Wave has given me opportunities that I never could have dreamed of. It has opened my horizons to things that I never knew I could do. Recently, I actually started opening my horizons to different kinds of art forms. You may come in as just a poet, and you just think that's all I can do, but it's not true. I was like, I'm a poet, and that's all I can do. But I realized that I really like singing, I really like dancing, I really like making art, actual visual art, and even if I'm not good at all of them, I still love to do that, and this program teaches you that it's okay, and you can better yourself in anything that you really are invested in. So I actually had a chance to start doing digital art, and was able to put it up in a gallery this semester, which is really cool because, you know, you get to put your signature on a painting and put it up in a gallery is like, whoa, that's really cool. So advice number 3 is do things that you may not think that you're good at if you love it, because who cares? You love it. So my last piece of advice, I think the most important one, is to the writers, the wannabe writers, the I can't but I kind of want to be a writer, the closet writers, all the writers that they are, keep writing. Even if it doesn't come out perfect. A perfect piece is sometimes unrealistic. Sometimes you have to get through the bad poems to get to the masterpiece, and that's when it's all worth it. So congratulations to those who are being celebrated today. For just getting on a stage right there should be a celebration in itself. So, quick shout out to my mom, my dad, the FBISD school district, because I made it out, and Metaphor Houston Slam Team, Wits Houston, which you should all check out. A little extra advice right there. First Wave, and the beautiful, beautiful people who are gracing this stage today. Thank you. I'm tired of people saying I sound like I'm creating a poem when I speak. Yes, my voice ripples like ocean, waves like hands, rapidly sprinting, getting into gear to go full speed, then brakes. Takes a break. Coasting for a cool down, slowing but persistent when I'm passionate. I understand I sound like a preacher who never thinks his mic works, so he gets loud and louder, booming, body so Holy Ghost consuming that I can't help it when fire spits from my lips because my lips can spit fire. I understand I talk in circles, looping like bicycle wheels, like that good track on your stereo. I play hopscotch with the octaves of my vocal cords. I can't help it. I'm tired of people saying I'm animated, as if comparing me to a cartoon will make their observations more realistic. I can't help it if my hands move more than my lips, gesturing every word as if I was painting a portrait. I can't help it when I take that poetry gasp of air, because I'm completely immersed in the conversation that I gotta take a moment to get to the surface and breathe. My vocabulary ranges from the 1950s to futuristic advances. Literary elements comfort me. I say things like, my brain is forming blisters. I know I don't make sense sometimes. I can't help it when my emotions play tricks on you. Saying things like happy but coming out sad. Using I hate yous as a synonym to love means everything, but you'll never hear it from me. I can be quite cynical sometimes. But see, I thought speech and poetry were 2 different genres, but clashing at every turn because they're always going in opposite directions, so I can't help it if I speak this way in conversation. The artist and everyday me keep merging, and it's scary because I don't know if they could coexist. I am Brandon, poet. The stage and sidewalk are combining, and I am branded poet, and it'll forever be engraved in my skin, so it never wants to leave me alone. So every time I open my mouth, your ears are naturally inclined to hear a masterpiece. Beautiful words strung together, tickling your insides. I'm tired of people saying I sound like I'm creating a poem when I speak. Because what if I can't deliver?